On Saturday, DA leaders and members of the community gathered at Manyi police station in KwaZulu-Natal for an oversight visit. This comes after community members claimed the station was continuously failing the community. Let's get more information on this from DA Provincial leader Francois Rogers. Francois, good to speak to you as always. Let's start off with these specific issues that were highlighted by the community during the picket outside the Manyi SAPS police station. And how does the DA plan to address these concerns?
Good afternoon and good afternoon to your viewers. Yeah, indeed, we handed over a memorandum yesterday highlighting some of the challenges. And one of the challenges we highlighted was the brutal killing of our colleague and friend Nhlalayenza Ndlovu, who was a councillor of Manyi and our chief whip. You know, it's now some 3 months ago, and we've had little or no feedback from the police there. It didn't start off well. The night that Nhlalayenza was murdered, we couldn't even get the police to answer their phone in that particular police station. So that was one of the biggest concerns. What also concerns me is that we appreciate that Becky clearly appointed a political task team to look into the killing of Nhlalayenza. The DA did exactly the same. As you know, we put up a R1 million reward, and we also appointed a task team made up of forensic investigators and also a prosecutorial team. The sad reality is that they've been trying desperately to engage with the police team to work together to trying to resolve and bring those guilty of this dreadful act to book, and the police ignore us on this, and they ignore our task team. So that was one of the issues. Also, the fact that the police station is hopelessly under-resourced, doesn't have a telephone line, only has one vehicle, is not manned to the capacity that it should be manned, and in fact, it serves a big community in Manyi, and a community that is continually under siege of criminals. And we've asked SAPS to give us a 14-day response to the issues that we've highlighted. What can we do about it? Well, we're not in government. If we were in government, what would we do about it? Well, we'd make sure that we have enough boots on the ground. I think that's the most important thing. And I think after that, you've got to make sure that they have the necessary equipment, whether it be vehicles, whether it be radios, no matter what it is, to be able to fulfill their tasks. And I think the training of our police, I think it's often an ignored aspect, and there needs to be proper training so that you have an efficient force that can be on the ground.
Now, coming back to the issue around the sad passing of your colleagues, you have gone and sought the involvement of experienced detectives from the FBI and Scotland Yard, which is quite unusual. What prompted this decision to bring international investigators, and what expertise do they bring to this investigation?
Well, obviously, you know, any death to us is an unacceptable death. I've been driving for some time in the province now and asking the Premier to have a roundtable discussion to talk about political killings and to talk about the Manyi Commission resolutions. But I get absolutely no joy from it. So as a party, we feel unless as political organization, as leaders, we start taking serious action to curb these political killings, it's just going to continue unabated. And it was for that reason, and knowing the challenges that SAPS face, particularly when it comes to forensics and the situation of then prosecuting those who have alleged to commit the crime, it is for that very reason that we put this team together. But we had sincerely hoped that SAPS would have welcomed it and said, well, let's work together to try and bring those perpetrators to book. But as I say, it's all come to naught, and there seems to be no action from SAPS' side as to that engagement, and also feedback into the investigation. What's actually happened?
Now, finally, you mentioned that under-resourcing in SAPS stations is a nationwide issue. What steps is the DA advocating for at the national level to address this issue? and improve policing in communities like Manyi?
Well, I think once again, as I said, it's boots on the ground, and it's trained boots on the ground. You know, one's got to do a desktop study, which we've done, and one's got to look at the population. You've got to identify crime hotspots and areas where crime has become rampant, and you've then got to mobilize your manpower, your trained and skilled manpower, into those communities that have the necessary equipment and the skills to be able to curb violence. But, you know, as I said yesterday, a police force in our country at the moment is neither proactive, you know, there's very little visibility, and nor are they reactive. We had to wait, I think it was 9 hours for SAPS to arrive on the murder scene on the night of Nhlalayenza's murder. So those are the simple areas that one can address crime in our communities.
That was DA Provincial Leader Francois Rogers. Appreciate your time. Thanks so much for speaking to us.